Well, it's been a very gentle day of sailing on day 2 out of Bora. Winds are very light, around 10 knots. We're making it around 5.5 over water, 5.5 knots.
Well, it's night 2 to Niue. I'm feeling a lot better than last night. It wasn't a lot of fun, and then I was wiped out for most of today, but as per usual, feeling really good on night watch. It's a calm night. We've had pretty much the same conditions for the whole trip, 10 to 12 knots. Just moved behind a bit, so slow going, but I'm happy with slow going because it's pretty calm and feeling good. Morning watch. I reckon 1 shift per night each is working really well. So I've woken up feeling good and I'm not at all seasick, which is a sign that I'm acclimatised now to the sea. It's usually that first day that I get seasick. So it's not something I seem to grow out of, but I do get used to it through a passage. And yeah, it looks like it'll be a beautiful day. The wind has finally picked up for us, so it's around 17, 18 knots. Hit 22 and Phil woke me up, we reefed. But yeah, got a bit of speed. Got that nice whooshing sound off the back. That means we're actually moving.
Well, it's now middle of the day and the wind continues to be strong and from behind, but it's now also brought bigger waves. Now the forecast is for this to stay on for the next day or so, and then it's to die down.
Grin and bear it day. The wind is all over the shop. I think we've tacked about 4 times already. It's been up, it's been down, it's been from all different angles. The sea's really lumpy, and now it's bucketing down. It's one of those days. Oh, and I decided to put my washing on the line, so discovered the way to enjoy today.
Yeah, what's that?
Massive attack, gold crab, more mellow stuff.
Unfortunately, since this morning the wind's just died completely, but at least you're getting these big huge rollers. It's fun and beautiful. It's like sailing through big desert sand dunes. Now unfortunately the forecast for the rest of today is it's going to be pretty much like this, at least till the evening, but I get to do what I've always wanted to do in the middle of an ocean. Check this out. 3, 2, 1.
Fun? That's a big wave. Oh, what's that fin behind you?
What? Can you put it in neutral?
It's in
I don't
neutral.
want to get too close to the propeller.
It's in neutral. Happy?
Yeah, hell's fun. Who's next? It was worth there was a shark behind me.
That was a joke. Just for a bit of fun, I'm hand steering for a while. Really enjoying it. And just thinking, I mean, every now and then I get this pinch me moment, which is we're on a boat in the middle of an ocean. It's so beautiful. There's the sunset. There's all the fluffy clouds around us between Bora and Tonga. So amazing. And we're so lucky. Let's night watch again. And it is a glorious night. It's a new moon. There's no moon at all. And we're a long way from human lights. So the stars are just jaw-dropping. This is the best I can do with the camera. It really doesn't do justice to it. It's right in the middle of the sky is the Milky Way, just like from horizon to horizon. So you just have to imagine that. And also the other thing that's so amazing tonight is Jupiter shine. Like moonshine, but there's none tonight. Jupiter shine is the light from Jupiter just shimmering across the water. Let's look at the green flash.
Okay, it's gone over the clouds.
Wild ride tonight. 22, 23 knots. And from the beam, a little bit upwind. But at least it's not raining. Forecast said it would rain. So glad it's got stars. Not my favourite morning. Haven't even had a chance to get a jacket on. But we unreefed because the wind went down to 12, 13 for half an hour. That qualifies as wait until you unreef, and we did. And then what did it? Then it was about 18, 20, so said okay, let's try and reef again, and then suddenly bam, like all this hit. So then we had second reef and 28 knots, and now it's calmed down a bit to 19. But, yeah. The wind decided to do a 40-degree shift in the middle as well. Everything was going everywhere, through an attack. And now it's a bit more stable again. But Carla at autopilot was not doing so well, coping with all that change, so I'm going to steer for a little bit.
Unfortunately, with all the motoring we've been doing, and for more to come, with the forecast being the way it is with low winds, we're probably going to be motoring for about 60 hours. Unfortunately, in this part of the world, with two major systems coming together, they're going to get good winds, very strong winds, or no winds at all. And unfortunately, as much as we planned on leaving with good winds, with it being about 9 days to cross, you're bound to get periods with little wind. And so, we're going to have to fill up with more diesel out of our jerry cans. This reminds me of across the Atlantic, where quite a few of the boats ran out of diesel. They didn't have enough jerry cans when they crossed, and they were also unlucky enough. We just got into St. Lucia ahead of a period of no wind. Once we came in, even 5 hours behind us, we're stuck with little or no wind. So I suggest anyone who's going to cross oceans, you need at least 60 gallons in their fuel tank and probably another 60 gallons of diesel in jerry cans.
Litres, 200 litres?
Yeah, it comes to about 200 litres.
And another 200 litres.
And 200 litres, yeah. Unfortunately, last night our block on the Traveller broke. I think it just put too much tension on it and it just snapped open. So I'm just taking it off and going to try and fix it. If I can't fix it, I'm just going to have to replace it. Luckily enough, when the first one broke of these, now this one's called a becalmed one. I'll show you later what it looks like. Luckily, I got two, so that if this one broke, then I had always a spare one. So I can totally recommend, if you've got unique blocks, just make sure you get two, if not three, when you're getting the replacement. You just never know. So what I've done is I've used this vice grip to pull it back together. I've used this one to straighten it up, and last step will be to put these on. There you go, almost as good as new.
Hope so.
And remember one thing, probably broke the rule of sail 80%, 100% of the time. We probably went a bit close to 100% with winding in the head sail too tight, and that's why it broke. So back to 80%, 100% of the time. So always the one that gets us. Yep, done. Better than new.
Giddy up. A couple of milestones today. We are now a day in the future. We've crossed the international date line. So somehow we missed a day. And we have passed 16,000 nautical miles. Woo-hoo.
Well, it's very early in the morning and we're just bobbing along. We dropped all our sails because there's absolutely no wind, and we're 100 nautical miles out from Tonga, but we turned the engine on. We'd get there around 2 o'clock in the morning, and I don't particularly want to be heading into Tonga, which is full of coral reefs. It's an atoll at 2 o'clock in the morning. So we're just going to bob around for the next few hours, at least till around 10 o'clock in the morning, because then we'll turn the engine on, or else hopefully we'll have wind, and it'll take us 20 hours to get into Tonga. Perfectly timed for our arrival around 7 o'clock, just as the sun's rising. We also happen to be floating above one of the deepest trenches in the world. Beneath us now, it's 8,000 meters down. Short way that way, it's around 10,000 meters deep.
It's a really strange feeling to be here in the middle of the ocean, just bobbing around as if we're in a really rolly anchorage. So we've got out a little bit of heady to try and stabilise us against these rollers. They're only small rollers, but it is rolly. And perfect time to go for a dip. This also feels very strange. I don't think I've ever jumped into 8 kilometres of water.
Nice. It is pretty cool being 8 kilometres above the seafloor. I'm not sure what people worry about swimming in big ocean depths. It's really different from swimming in 10 metres. You're still going to drown if you're going to drown.
Oh, that's a cheery thought.
The only thing I'm worried about here is the odd shark that might be a bit hungry from having eaten for a while.
Don't worry, this little fish will scare them away.
I'm declaring this the Republic of Tranquilo. So it's not really an ownership thing, it's more an X-marks the spot on the map. And everybody's welcome. Bring your swimmers, bring your sup. Be ready for a spot of naked yoga on the swim platform here. That bit's not for video though. We are slightly going a bit mad out here. I think it's time to go.
It's very flat, so I agree. Don't do my direction.
Juice it up. About 16. Farewell, Republic of Tranquilo.
Head straight for Tonga or?
Yep.
Straight for Tonga.
Well, the wind's picked up nicely. It's around 8 from the front, so we're getting some good speed close haul to the wind, about 5.5 knots. So we're on track to make Tonga just as the sun's rising.
The wind's been building to 14.5, 15 knots and it's still going up. So we're going to reef in to the first reef. Alright, here we go. Still luffing. Bill's just read up on the immigration requirements for Tonga, and apparently they might take away our fresh fruit and veg. I can't stand food being wasted, so I've got out the rest of our limes from Marquesas, still fresh out of the fridge, and making limeade. Well, final night watch coming into Tonga. It's been quite a long trip from Bora, basically 3/4 of a day longer than we had to because we want to come in the day, in the daylight.
Arrived in Tonga.
If you like this video, please click like below and subscribe to follow our adventures.